to take a step away for a second, and then I saw my little neighbor next door. He wanted to show me his new big wheel. Put the dogs outside. Uh, but I began to take a look at just the beginning of that last video to make sure I was getting my point across properly, right? Um, and one of the things that I saw just from Rip, I need you guys to understand this is about getting rapture ready, right? If tomorrow really is the day, are you ready to, at a knee-jerk reaction too? You know, you can't lie about a knee-jerk reaction. That's fight, flight, or freeze, right? But are you ready to accept the rescue of Christ when Christ forgave Jeffrey Dahmer? And Jeffrey Dahmer is in heaven with him right now. Or there's a possibility of it. You get what I'm saying? Are you ready for rapture knowing that that could be true? Would you still go? Do you still want to go? Did that make you so, the thought of that make you so angry that you want to maybe say, I don't know, I don't trust them no more because of this, or you know what I mean? Or here we go, not him. Let's say the person that hurt you that may no longer be on the earth, right? The thought that at the last minute, the last second, like they watched my video before they died. You get what I'm saying? That last moment, they accepted the true nature of Christ. They really became a Christian, one who understands the office of Christ and knows the authority of Christ and the debt we owe Christ. Like, are you that person? Like the person that understands? Or are you the person that you said it to get along, you said the mantra, you know, I believe Jesus Christ died on the cross and rose on the third day. You believed it. When you messed up, you said, you know, forgive me, you know, whatever the case may be, right? On that day, how confident are you that he knows you too, right? Because he said, many of you going to say, you did all this stuff in my name, but I'm going to say, depart from me. I know you not, you worker of iniquity. So that's that question, is on that day, will he say, hey, Wiz, what up? Wiz in the building. Or is he going to say, I don't know her. You get what I'm saying? And that's what today is about, is strengthening your understanding that you know that you know, right? You know that you know. He gonna live, like y'all gonna have pet names for each other on that moment. You get what I'm saying? But if you're not for him, truly for his ways, you're against him. If you're ready to dethrone his father for belief in a mantra, I'm just saying. Now, I want to say this too. God told me, be careful. Don't say nothing. Like, because the truth is, that ain't for me to discern. You know in your heart, and God knows your truth. God knows. God knows if you just saying it to get along. God knows if you don't really mean it, but your heart is like, the reason why I don't mean it is because, like, I can't dethrone you, like you the only God, or whatever the case may be. You get what I'm saying? Like, God is really measuring the intent of your heart. You know, people always want to say, you can't get into heaven by your deeds, which is true. This is, what is it? Salvation through grace. It is. It's some salvation through grace type stuff. So it ain't your deeds. Or is it? Oh, I just heard God say, do you love me? That's a do you love me? Do you trust me? Dude, he said that's a deed. But it's the deeds of your heart. Do you love me? Do you trust me? Will you stand up for me? In the face of evil, will you go along with them? To get along, though? Or will you go along hoping and looking for your moment to stand up for your God? These are the questions that will be, because you remember what I told you. God told me that like judgment is gonna be a courtroom style thing. You know, it's gonna be real live. Your life gonna testify against thee. So I'm telling you, and I'm gonna go ahead and flat out say it: God is love. Jesus is forgiveness. Nobody can stay or be used by love that does not have the willingness to forgive. I could say that because, okay, let me tell you guys a quick story. And, I decided that I think I'm going to try to allow God to just take over, because I noticed I lose my train of thought when I try to back up or slow it down, or, I'm just going to talk freely. See, just like right now, that defense mechanism. Remember, defense mechanisms are demons. Coping mechanisms is faith, like it's angels, right? And what type of coping mechanisms you have, right? Coping mechanisms are always positive, always. Defense mechanisms are negative. You get what I'm saying? Those are negative, such as, I'm brokenhearted, so I drink all day. That's a defense mechanism. But another one is I'm brokenhearted, so I paint. I find way. That's a coping mechanism. Okay, just want to go back to it. So just let that know. That's what I noticed about the video and what I'm going to do from here on out. If I need to stop and get a Bible verse, I will. But I'm going to tell you this. By now, hopefully you are mature enough to, like, I like when people test what I say. I don't like when they test my character. That hurts. It's like, I would never lie to you. I don't have no reason. We ain't monetized. I don't get a dime for this. Never have I come and said I needed anything, but God did tell me if I ever did say I need something, I did feel free. But at this point, he's supplying all of my needs. I am literally just doing my best to heal myself and the BS of the world, because it hurts the way they hurt God for no reason. Most of the stuff they've done in this world was misunderstandings gone awry, good intentions mingled with manipulating people, But if we can see the heart of people, if we can learn how to discern the heart versus trying to judge, because judgment creates division. He said we all got to grow together. Let me tell you how God feels about the devil. Remember the last video I said the demons wasn't going to be mad at this video, because the truth is they do crave you. They crave you. You're like a plug to them, right? But I said the devil himself was going to get mad at this. Let me tell you, God told me about the relationship between him and the devil. He said it's the same as a parent and their child who is a genius, like a genius child, right? This child, just like any other child, wants to grow up to be just like daddy, right? Want to be just like daddy. But one day daddy has said, no, you got to go to bed at this time to be ready for school or whatever the case may be. And that child went, when I grow up, I ain't gonna make nobody go to bed on time. Ain't nobody ever gonna make me. I'm gonna do it better than him. First mistake, right? You got kids. If you got kids, you know what I mean. Or better, if you've been a kid, you like be thinking, I'm gonna do it better than my parents one day. You get what I'm saying? But there's a difference between doing it better than, right, and as good with. You get what I'm saying? So the devil then wanted to break those rules. The devil is his child, okay? The devil is the son of God. Did I mess y'all up? These are the real truths you got to face. He is. So that is his child. And then so I'm like, man, God, wow, like, I got to be rough. You're going to have to kill your child. And then he flat out said, that's why I've been patient. And he's recording. He said, this is the image he gave me of the relationship between him and the devil. Is picture your child, right? And you know how your kid bad. Ooh, your kid bad. This little bad little, ooh, right? And you know what they about to do. You're watching them like lie to you in your face, right? Now, if you're a parent, you literally might yell out, I could tell you lying. Why you say that? Like, why are you checking where I'm at? I could tell you lying. You just lost the battle right then between mother and child. You lost the battle because immediately, no, they wasn't. You gave your position away. And on top of that, they immediately about to make you look crazy because they never, there was nothing, no clues that they saw. They thought they was doing a good job. They was like, that's when they like knowing they was smoking weed, but they doing this. Like, what you mean? But there's no way you could prove it. You get what I'm saying? And you're the punishment for what the devil has done is literally an eternity of darkness. Like, no, that was his first one. Now he about to go in the lake of fire. This is when he gonna destroy him. So this is him having to make the decision to put his child, like his child, into the lake of the fire, right? So he said, what he said about that is that that's the reason why he's making a record. You get what I'm saying? Because if he say, like, he know what the devil gonna do, and he tried to tell him, but the devil really, didn't believe him and decided he was gonna do it anyways. So he gotta sit back and let it all mount up. And then God said, once it all mounts up, remember God said he was going, I'm messing that up, that he was going to always be blameless. When this is all said and done, we wondering who going to be blamed for what? Know this, God himself will be blameless, even unto putting his own child in the lake of fire. He will be blameless, okay? So that's something you got to know. How will he be blameless? Why will he be blameless? Because he did he sat back. His patience is his glory right now. He sat back so that way when they do the unthinkable, like right now I see you having a tantrum. That's how parents think, right? You having a tantrum. I see you. You done said like flat out, I hate you. You were the worst parent in the world, and it's hurting. God taking each one of those like, okay. But there's one thing, like there's one thing you can't do. You can't pull the trigger. Like if a child got his, which you shouldn't have no gun, but you get what I'm saying. If you got your parent in their sights, the parent don't know until the moment you pull the trigger that the relationship is not repairable. I'm just being real. I mean, they know, but they can't. You know what I mean? They can't. They would be blamed. They would have some blame, guilt in their own heart if they move too soon. You get what I'm saying? And God is on a right on time God, so he know exactly what he's doing when it comes to his child. Now, I'm going to tell you this. You are a son of man. You are a human. Your ways are not like God's ways, but your ways are like other humans' ways, right? So here's the truth is you're not perfect. There is nothing perfect under this sun but God, right? So you gotta know, you gotta forgive the human because they've been like, you've been there sometimes. You get what I'm saying? Just because you were strong enough to get out of there don't mean that you should step on the face of the person who hasn't realized how to become strong. The Bible says it's your duty to help the weak. It's your duty. That's how on the day of judgment, and there's a whole bunch of demons, that's the way you're going to be able to stand, is the fact that you know you the principle of this thing, right? You run this. But if you are covered in fear, regret, sadness, worry, all these things that hinder the light of the soul, It'll be like how I jump in front of God sometimes and start talking, or I mean, like I try to defend myself and then I lose what I was trying to say. You know, like God said, just be free and speak. Okay, so he said during this time, offense was going to be unbound. Offense was going to be unbound. Well, let's talk about offense, right? Offense comes from culture. Culture is your programmed way of adapting to being a concord amongst people. You get what I'm saying? I think that's the right word. I don't know. But being a nation, right? So you adapt in certain kind of ways to a group so that you all can live peacefully together. Well, the problem is here in America, that adaptation has meant to denying some of God's laws, right? So God already said those 10 commandments are commandments. They are laws of God. Keep thee self from offending God, right? Those are his laws, right? Remember, even Christ said, look, I'm not coming to mess that up. Like the 10 commandments stand, right? So knowing that those are God's laws, it's important for us to be able, like, if we let them disrespect God's laws, and I'm not telling you, uh, like to make judgments. No, I'm saying let them, such as what happened on that board, June 26th. You get what I'm saying? That went straight against one of God's laws. You get what I'm saying? So those types of things, yes, we have to speak up for. But everything else after God's laws, everything else is instruction. It's culture. It's adaptation. It is, ways to get it. Okay, I got a great example. Something crazy is happening behind me. I'm going to tell you about it. That's the great example. So don't you know this is net season? I don't know where you live, but right now this is net season. They got all these little nets. You see them. And I don't care how clean your house is. It got to be something to do with the gutter. You get it, or the drains or something. You get what I'm saying? So you go learn how to fix it. What you do, you go on YouTube and say how to get rid of nets. What they tell you get some vinegar. They tell you to get some Dawn dish soap, right? I've done this 1,000 times, right? Never works. Never works. My consistency must be off, okay, or something. I don't know. It never works, right? But I noticed that my morning coffee, by the time I am done with my morning coffee, it sat there because I'm running around or whatever. And when I get back to it, they're all over it, right? Now, by culture standards, you would go, oh, that's gross. You're just leaving coffee sitting there. But it's effective. So if I am afraid of your judgment about the fact that there's a whole thing of coffee. I put the coffee in a bowl. So I literally looked at the coffee like, I don't want this coffee no more. And put it in a bowl for the nets. Because in a minute, they're going to get drunk on it. Like, it's real. They fall. Look, hold up. Let me just pick up the whole thing. It's real. They falling in there and everything. You get what I'm saying? They getting drunk on coffee, and then they falling out right there. Okay. But for someone else, they go, oh, that's gross. Like, don't do that. I agree. Don't get me wrong. It's kind of gross. But at the same point, don't judge me for it because it's effective. And that coffee was just going to get thrown down the sink. And it was the right consistency, unlike the thing that the YouTube hack. You get what I'm saying? So I hope I'm setting you free enough right now where you gotta be willing to have your own mind. You gotta be willing to step away from the status quo or the culture sometimes so that you can be an innovator. You get what I'm saying? So very important. A lot of times culture will lead us somewhere where if we just had the courage at that moment to stand up for God, we could have at least not be led somewhere else. So that's what I want to talk to you about too. It's about every person must work out their salvation, their own salvation with fear and trembling. Your own salvation with fear and trembling, right? When it comes to the instructing people, you always do it with love, using the Beatitudes. There's several verses in Proverbs and Psalms that talk about covering, you giving softening the blow. But now in 2022, that's unheard of. I'm supposed to say it and look at you like I'm supposed to say, no, we don't have that here. But back in the day, it could be, no, I'm sorry, we don't even got it here. I think helpfulness, I think it might be, these are ways to care about God's children. Like, these are ways to keep thy heart jovial. And the only way you can do that is by forgiving it. We're all stupid. You're stupid. I'm stupid. Ugly, funny looking, all that. But jovialness would just be me laughing about my hat. You get what I'm saying? Be jovial about it. Because take it lightly. Take it lightly and with a grain of salt. Because the goal is to be salty, right? Because you do got to discern it, right? But here's what you're discerning: the intentions of people's hearts. Okay? Because you can't always expel everybody. Don't get me wrong, sometimes you got to expel people. But you can't always expel everybody. So as a Christian, as a person of God, your goal needs to be helping heal. That ain't my responsibility. Ain't that what that sound like? But the truth is that it is your responsibility to help heal. You know why Christ was killed? Because he believed it was his responsibility to forgive the man, right? And they then told him he was wrong because only God can forgive people. Well, what if I told you that forgiveness expels demons? What if I told you that? What if y'all witnessed a exorcism right at that moment, but didn't even know when he forgave that man? Maybe what if that man could walk and he flat out went, y'all don't even know he could really walk. He could really walk. They don't even know. Dude, your sins are forgiven. Right? That it could have been that, all you know. You get what I'm saying? But that right there is what Christ got killed for. But I'm letting you know right now, when you forgive people, you literally expel their demons. You can help them expel demons through forgiveness. Remember what I started this out saying? This whole thing was inspired because somebody in my comments literally said that they were the Antichrist, right? And they went on to say some other things, right? And it inspired me because this happens all the time to me. I'm used to this, right? But it inspired me because, I thought about all the judgy people, because my reply to him was, you don't have to worry that I'm going to push you away. I appreciate and respect your honesty. Thank you for being honest with me, right? Because I really do. I love honesty. Like, thank you. You know what I mean? Also, on top of that, but there's some certain things I'm not going to allow, right? I didn't put that all in the text, but this is my standard for you guys to know. One thing you won't do is you won't hurt me. Right? You will not hurt me. You just won't. And if you do, you'll be cut off. Why? I know that I'm the prize. How do I know I'm the prize? Because I got the light of God. You want to plug into me again. So it's going to hurt when I cut off. So don't hurt me. Right? The other standard is don't hurt God. That should have been the first one. Please excuse me. If I see you, I done been in some crazy situations, like where I'm partying, like, okay, hey, I'm instead of being wisdom, I'm the woman of folly. I'm literally like, hey, party over here. But as soon as someone hurts God, everybody will tell you, I leave weirdly. I leave weirdly. Or other times my pastor voice come out because I can't stop myself from, you know what I mean? I'm working on it. I'm working on it. Okay. But as long as I'm speaking in righteousness, I'm not speaking out of hate. As long as I am teaching the word of God when I do speak, or if let's say I'm not teaching the word of God, as long as I'm being honest about my own feelings. There's a Bible verse about that. Hold on. Oh, that's a good one. I can't find it. Hold on. Like, you got to be honest about your own feelings. You know, sometimes when someone hurts you, you got to flat out look at them and say, that hurt me. And did y'all know that expels demons too? The things that your tough upper lip, your stony heart, the culture has told you you should react when it comes to people to protect yourself is literally helping people keep demons. You're aiding demons when you do that, right? It's the truth. But if you have a heart of flesh and say, that hurt me, it hurt. Every time you say that, it hurts. It breaks my heart. That one thing. Now, but here's the problem in humanity. When you say that, saving face demon steals the glory. Steals the glory from God. Saving face demon goes, it was because you, it was because you, it was because you, and you, and you, right? Because they hurt them, you know, that the ego, it hurt because they don't want to they don't want to hurt nobody, or at least they don't want to be exposed for hurting people, depending on their heart, you don't know, right? So they might not want to hurt nobody, or they might not want to be exposed for hurting people. But if they then attack you, what does Proverbs say? Proverbs says, you rebuke a mockerer, you occur abuse. You rebuke a wise man, and he becomes wiser still. He begins to love you. But if you rebuke a mockerer, he wants to hate you. So when you do make that rebuke, it hurt me. They want to hate you, you know who you're dealing with. No skin off your back. And I don't even have to be angry either. I could be pitiful for you because I know tomorrow's the day. You get what I'm saying? I hope you really understand what I'm saying. Because here, let's give the opposite on that. Let's say no, better yet, I won't even get opposite. I'm just going to say these words. Positive plus negative equals neutral, right? Right? So or let's do it with hate first, just for, you know, the simpleness of it so you can see it. If a person hates you, right, then love is present, right? You love them, they can forgive you. That's the only way. Now, here we go. Remember I told you guys before, I asked God about why he hated Esau, right? And because and I want y'all to know, we're going to talk about race too, because like race don't exist anymore. Once Jesus solidified Jew and Gentile together, he gave a new law, which was love, right? That's important to know. So race doesn't matter, but everybody always talks about Esau, right? Because God said, Esau, I hate it, right? So I'm like, God, why you hate Esau? And he said, some relationships have to start with hate so that they'll learn to love. That's what he said. Like some relationships too got to start with hate or distance so that they'll begin to forgive or to love again. Meaning it's kind of like God. I want you to picture God. That's what I'm talking about. Now, this is God. Everybody want to be on God's team. Real talk. But if God is like, I'm done, but you want to be on his team, you got to submit in order to even get back to his team. You get what I'm saying? So that's why some of them got to start with, because you too high up in the clouds to even know who's God. Like who the one, you know, who has the staff, you know what I mean? So that's the reason why we got to take all of this as if we're helping each other shed the layers of atrocities and injustice that was put upon the people. You get what I'm saying? I'm talking about in a personal level. Like your dad hurt you. You get what I'm saying? Let's say your dad hurt you, right? I can sit in front of you and say, I'm sorry. I am so, so sorry. Or if you then, no, not just say I'm sorry, I then got to say that it's not right. That should have never happened. What can we do to make sure nothing like that ever happens to you again? Did you notice some ways that it's changed your behavior? Do you like the ways it's changed your behavior? Well, the ones that you don't like, have you thought of any? Can we think of some ways to make sure that they don't trigger you as much anymore? Because he don't deserve that much power over you, because obviously you made it to here. You made it to here, so he didn't destroy you, right? When they tried to destroy you, they didn't do it. You made it here. So how can we turn back around and fix what they thought because see, remember what the devil means for your bad, God always changes it around for your good. You get what I'm saying? So for instance, we all know what my husband did, right? I told y'all. And I forgive him too. Honestly, I forgave him on a how to do Christian relation, like marriage for Christians or something. I forgave him in front of a whole bunch of Christians, and they came for my throat. Now he's in jail, and I'm never gonna have a relationship with him like that ever again. But they didn't know that. I was just a wife forgiving her husband. That's all I was, in writing too. So it wasn't even like they saw my face or anything. I just wrote that this was the hardest thing I ever dealt with. And I gotta forgive him. I forgive him because who knows? Like at this point, I'm thinking some MK Ultra stuff happened to him. So I gotta forgive him. I gotta forgive him. How am I gonna hate him for being a pint-sized man? You can't, if he ain't a gallon, he just ain't a gallon man. That was my bad. I should have been, or my bad. Thank you for the lessons I learned from such a thing. But long story short, they came from my throat. People were saying I need to be in jail for ever allowing that to happen to my child. Like I allowed it. But I did what was right when I knew. When I found out, I didn't even hesitate. I did what was right. Right? So I can talk about some of these things because here we go. Let's talk about that. Real talk. My husband's character, he was an amazing man. Honestly, he reminded me of Aiden on Sex and the City. He was Aiden. I'm talking about the way Aiden talked to her, the whole nine. That was my husband. So when I pressed charges, a lot of people got mad at me. I mean, I'm talking about they got pissed. I had people come to me with the black mantra, put that black man in jail. You don't got them white people in your business, all kinds of stuff. I had what happens in your house stays in your house. I had all they gonna do is put your daughter through a lot of unnecessary stuff and still find them innocent. I had a lot of things like a lot of advice that was against justice. Because that's why I made the decision to do it. Because justice matters. I'm going to die one day. If God be willing, and if everything goes properly, my daughter will outlive me. How dare I leave her on this earth with her mind mangled by something like that? No, justice. She needs to see justice. Because then she can trust me. And then for my husband, he needs to acknowledge whatever happened to him. Whatever happened to him that made that possible, that's tell the truth, shame the devil time. And if he had enough for me, he would have stood there and stood trial. But no, he ran from the cops and all kinds of stuff happened. But that's how I knew he did it. When I pressed charges, I just said my daughter would get counseling. And I knew there was something that happened to my husband. Maybe we can get him some help too. But his whole family acted, they wanted to hide it as well. But we could have all stood together as a family if we could have all sought justice. That would have been getting justice for my husband against the person that hurt him when he was little, just by us all standing together. But they couldn't. They couldn't. And I'm going to keep standing right here in justice. But that's what justice is, what you do for the hurting. Justice does not mean punish. Sometimes it means heal. Find out where the foothold was at, where the discord came into play, where where is the thing that's holding you afraid and captive at. Justice is finding that thing and making amends for that. That's justice. They rejected you. Why would I reject you? Unless you try to hurt me. You try to hurt me. How do I reject you? Do I got to yell at you, cuss you out, tell you I'm a beat you, don't come round here on site? No, I just cut you off because I know that I'm the sugar of the vine. I know this light on me is special, special. I know you need the plug. And if you don't come back, if you don't need this plug, I know eventually you're going to go search out another plug that got all that same goodness of God on it. So I'm hoping I'm giving you the power to walk in the authority that God gave you on this earth to protect, strengthen his children. See, that's what he meant when he said the harvest is plentiful. I feel it. I know exactly what he means. Because if I forgive you, you might get the chance to go to heaven. And forgiveness is literally expelling demons off people. Me forgiving you, right? Don't get me wrong. God ain't got to his point yet. You do that at judgment. But if I forgave you, it might, if you did something horrible to me, it might make you look up again. You get what I'm saying? So that's why it's important for you to forgive the people that hurt you. Because who knows what happened since the last time you saw them. God could have been working on their soul. Could have been working on their very soul to the point where they going to heaven. But you're bound because you just can't. You just can't. Well, I'm going to tell you this. If they didn't tell you that they love you, I love you. God loves you. We love you. If they rejected you, I'm not going to reject you until we find out you ain't like you're trying to hurt me or God. I mean, sometimes here we go. I have a lot of LGBT friends and family, right? But I don't agree with LGBT lifestyle. I don't. Now, mind you, I don't try to judge any of them in that. That is their sin. Just like me having a one-night stand with a man is my sin. You get what I'm saying? Who walking around? Why are we walking around acting like we okay with other people's sins? That ain't your place. What about the fact I smoke cigarettes? Right? It's okay. No, it ain't. Don't tell me that, because the truth is I really do want to quit. Just haven't figured it out yet. And here we go. Sometimes you can't help me figure it out. It's going to have to come from God himself, probably. But you can teach me to have good morals and principles. You can teach me that we don't corrupt children, so don't smoke in front of children, nor allow them to have a cigarette. You can not smoke on camera. Here we go, because don't get me wrong, I daydream about smoking on camera, but I'm not going to smoke on camera because I don't know what if you're fighting the same demon I'm fighting and you want to quit just like I do. Why would I trigger you like that? Like, we got to realize, yes, God said it ain't going to be about getting into heaven, is about grace only. But it ain't going to be about what you do. It's going to be about how you feel about what you've done. Is going to be the deciding factor. Okay? So, and here we go. There's a verse that said God actually weighs the heart. And he showed me why. He said he weighs the heart because all offenses are equal to all offenses. All of them weigh the exact same amount. Every single offense weighs the exact same amount. Let's do it. So every offense weighs the exact same amount, right? So you got an offense, your sin, and you put it's right there, right? Now, I don't have another pack, but let's say murder. right? Got the next one, right? That was just cigarettes. But here we go. We got murder, right? Should I put it in a different pile? Nope. Put it right there on top of the cigarettes, and it looks like a cigarette box. And now we got lying, right? It looked just like a cigarette box, and I put it right there, right? But here's the difference. That pile getting big. You get what I'm saying? God doesn't care about quality. He cares about the quantity. You get what I'm saying? Because how many times did you look in the face of the devil, know you needed to make a decision for God, and decided to stay, knowing that this was like to stay is to agree with in some situations, right? So you done went and hang out with your friend, right? And she like, girl, I'm gonna take you to this after hour spot. You get to the after hour spot, right? Y'all hanging out. Oh, the guy's cute. It's smoky room, right? It's a great day. All right. Oh, he cute. I like him. Not right now. Everything is to your liking because it's a part of you, right? You're like, oh. Then all of a sudden, a naked midget. This really happened to me in real life. A naked midget runs out and starts stripping in the middle of the floor. Now, mind you, you got there with your friend, right? Your friend took you to this place, so this is a place she normally go. You get what I'm saying? So she know who these people is and what's going on. But you being in the den right now, what do? Go grab her and clothe her? She gonna look at you and say, you better get off me, this is my money. No, can't do that. What do? Like, do you start cussing out everybody? How dare y'all some trifling mother, and leave? Nah, you're going to get beat up. You in the den. You there. You are literally there. It has happened around you, right? You just wake up and you there. So here we go. So what do you do in that moment? What do you do? Anything that does not hurt God or jeopardize your relationship with God. Anything. Anything that does that next, right? What if it's, for some people it's going to be, girl, I got to go. Yes, I got to go. Please forgive me. I got to go. All right, I'm going to holler at you later. All right, I got to go. Y'all came together, girl. Now you got to go, girl. I'm sorry. It's a little much for me. Hey, bygones, but this right here, it's a little much for me. I got to go. It depends. You get what I'm saying? Do you lie? I appreciate the lady when I was joking, because she right, I would never lie, right? But I was saying about how you should call off work tomorrow and just say you sick. No, that's a lie, right? So she right, because that's one of them laws. You can't just be out here lying, right? But you can be honest and say, it's a little bit too much for me. I believe God is real and he coming back soon, and I can't disrespect him knowing his essence is on the world right now, so I got to go. That's the truth. It's going to convict your friend, yeah. But you didn't hurt her. You said the truth about you, right? And it might convict her to where later she either goes with you or she wants to talk about it. Or she starts getting irritated in those types of places. You get what I'm saying? Or, here we go, you might be like me, right? I've been known. What I end up doing is giving all the strippers a ride home and talking to them about college and that's what I did. That's exactly what I did. So, and that's the truth. And here we go. Do you not want to subscribe anymore? Because I literally gave a whole group of strippers a ride home while I told you if the devil come to my door, he going to heaven with me. So while trying to speak life into them, and that's all I was doing was healing wounds. Who did that made you think that was all you were worth? Like what happened? Listening to their pain and then saying, okay, well, maybe we can come up with some solutions. But the question is do you have like what you're going to do when that day come? They all going to create some type of outcome. And God really does care about you bringing people to his throne room. He does care about you healing them, right? People looking for somebody to come back for the dead. Remember, he said it over and over again. Lazarus, they don't care about miracles. They really don't. They don't care about miracles. I could literally bring somebody back from the dead right in front of you is what Jesus was saying. And they ain't gonna care, not for real. Right? But if you teach them, You give them knowledge and understanding. If you empathize, if you care enough to find out why, instead of this what you got to do, but maybe why? Get a mind of curiosity like a child. Get a mind of curiosity. Why? 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 You don't like something about black people? Here we go. Why y'all listen to that kind of music? Why? Some people gonna tell you, oh, I ain't even, I like the beat. You could discern, oh, okay. Okay, you like the beat. So that means you probably ain't even listening to the words. You could discern that, right? Or someone might say, ain't nothing else on the radio. This all they let get on the radio. That's how I feel. They're forcing us. There really ain't nothing else on the radio. Go listen to your radio station, then listen to our radio station, and count the sound. Like when the women start singing, what are they singing about? When the women start singing on this radio channel, what are they singing about? You could see the mental health of a community by their music. You really can. But we know this. They have controlled our airways. First, they made a whole bunch of bad people rich, rappers that knew that that was their agenda. But them rappers were bad people, so they meant it, right? Made them rich. And what did they do as rich? They made other people like them rich, right? But they didn't let, certain groups didn't get no play. Certain groups don't get main, like what's his name? There's this one black rapper that's amazing, but all you see him on YouTube, and they got him on a new TV show about an Indian dude, and the black dude is like his friend. I mean, not Indian dude, a Muslim dude. The rapper that I'm talking about is this friend. He got a mustache. He the best rap. Oh, he's one of the best rappers I've ever seen, and he speaks about love, and his raps say stuff like, "If my wife and my children can't come, I ain't coming." You know what I mean? Like when his wife raps on every thing and everybody gives her glory for being his wife. Like that's beautiful. Yeah, but they don't let you see that about us. They don't let our children see that. I had to go introduce my son, one of my sons, because my oldest son introduced me, but I had to introduce my other son to that kind of thing. So instead of judging and going, oh, they're all some heathens, lunatics, negative, evil, whatever, darkness, whatever you want to say, you think maybe that our airways are being controlled and someone is actually using the mental health that's been inflicted upon us against us? You think maybe somebody knows there need to be a certain fall guy, but we're just, because of mental health, we're so happy to be included that we done jumped up to the table and took over the company that the CEO done disappeared. He in the bunker and they got you out front for the fall of it all. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. What I'm saying is ask questions. Ask questions. You get what I'm saying? And I'm talking about to me, because my answer is going to be different than someone else's of the same race. Right? That may be how they feel now. You get what I'm saying? I can't think everybody black is inherently good. No, it don't work that way. I told you I done found stuff up in the house. Come on now. What I'm saying is for you to guard your heart against iniquity. It's for you to guard your heart. Because some people you gotta pity. Messed you up, huh? Some people you do gotta pity, not just empathize with. You gotta actually pity them. It's true. You pity the fool, right? So I praise God. I'm glad I just rambled. Go find Bible verse. There's so many Bible verses. I'll just ramble some Bible verses because I said basically everything God wanted me to say. But you gotta get ready to walk in the authority that has been given unto you. And that is to be the fruits of the Spirit. Oh, I'm so glad I said that. Praise God. Hallelujah. Fruits. Start discerning and judging people by the fruits they bear. By the fruits they bear. I'm about to say something that's going to mess you up. Ooh, don't crucify me. But here we go. Let's give you a thought, right? Because this is what I noticed. people will jump on you if you don't agree with their idols. If you don't agree with their idols, they'll jump on you. A while ago, I had said about Beyonce. Remember that Beyonce, back in the day, you couldn't say nothing bad about Beyonce. But I said, I'm tired of seeing her in this high-waisted swimsuit in every single performance. I would love to see some real fashion, is what I said. Whoa, they came after me. She got to wear that because she got to dance and she don't want to be getting tripped up on nothing. But every single performance, right? But it was okay. But they got mad and they came for me, okay? So that's what people do when it comes to their idols, right? But if you weigh the fruit of what a person has done, then you make the judgment and decision. Okay, so let's go to someone that would it'll mess you up if it was wrong. So I'm gonna do it though, just so that you'll get practice in being forgiving. I hope you forgive me. Okay, so here we go. Let's take Peter for example. Let's take him for example. I don't know him. Let's act like I don't know him. I ain't never read that book. I don't know him. Or better yet, so I read the book, right? I'm looking to see what happens. Here's the things that happen. He walked out on water. I know that he, started to lose faith and began to sink, but Jesus grabbed him, right? He told Jesus not to wash his feet. You're like, you would never wash my feet. He said, dude, if I don't wash your feet, you can't come with me. That's what Jesus said. Let's see what else. He said he was the one who asked, who's going to betray you, right? Who's going to betray you, Lord? And then he said, I'll tell you, the one that does this, okay? It wasn't him. It was someone else, okay? We're going to just say that, right? Maybe, I don't know. But let's keep going. Then he said, I need you to stay woke. They're after my life. They're literally trying to kill me, is what Jesus said to Peter. They're trying to kill me. I need you to stay woke. Jesus went away, came back. Peter was asleep. Okay, so now we're seeing a little pattern here, ain't we? Okay, and then they came to get me. You've been with me for 3 years now, right? They came to get me, and you pull out a knife to cut off the ear, right? Which I'm not saying is bad. Hey, I probably would have done the same thing. Real talk, I don't know. But then Jesus literally looked at him and said, get thee behind me, Satan. Now, let's keep going. You're going to deny me 3 times before the crow crows or whatever, right? He did it. So I'm just talking about facts. I am not making no judgments. This is the fact. Each one of these things happened, okay? So then let's go into the future, right? Everybody got killed, got martyred, but he decided he wasn't, first he created the Catholic Church. Okay, that's what happened. He aided in the creation of Catholicism. So therefore, he is buried under the obelisk at the cathedral. Not cathedral, St. Peter's Square, right? So he's buried. This is facts. I ain't giving you no opinions. He's buried there. Another fact is that he said he felt like he wasn't good enough to be buried, to be crucified upright, right? He said, crucify me upside down, okay? So he was crucified upside down, okay? I don't know how he felt. I'm just telling you the facts of what happened. Now, given those facts, would you say it was a good guy? I don't know, right? It's not for you to make the judge. If you just judge right now, you might have just judged one of God's best friends, even if he was evil, because the fruits of his labor come some kind of way. Because we ain't talking about me and you. We talking about God. Now, would I kick it with him? Nah, I couldn't. He tried to hurt him way too many times throughout that process. I couldn't hang with him. But God said, come on, let me wash your feet. That way you can hang with me. Right? So what I'm saying, I'm not telling you to set yourself up for being abused. No, I'm not telling you that. I'm telling you to stay in your lane. And if you don't know how to help people overcome demons, stay away from demons. Stay away from, have nothing to do with them. Stay away from people, everybody that got a characteristic of 2 Timothy chapter 3. You stay away from. That's important, right? Because that's your lane if you're not good at overcoming those things. But if you have a whole bunch of empathy, if you got a whole bunch of love, but also have like a strong spine, a stony spine. You get what I'm saying? Let your heart be flesh, but your spine got to be for God. So that way when they, basically try to get you to snort cocaine, and you're there and you're watching them snort cocaine and you ain't saying a word, you cool with it. That you wrong already. You just hurt the least of these just for being there. The plug shouldn't be there. You are the light of God, right? You wouldn't want to be there because you're watching them snort cocaine. Now, if you're going to be there, you better be talking. You should be talking about them snorting gold, and they should be okay with it. I do that all the time. You should be okay with it. You're doing it, right? And I'm okay. So let's talk about it. Well, if you're strong enough. If you're not strong enough, you need to be up out of there, right? So I hope I'm explaining what I'm trying to say. I hope you get what I'm trying to say. You got to work out your own salvation with fear and trembling. Fear and trembling means don't go be around all those people. Fear and trembling means you know that you got a propensity for men and one night stands or whatever the case may be. Don't go, right? Don't you better have an emblem, like kind of, this is my emblem, you know what I mean, that lets you know, this is the tribulation. Don't be acting like everything okay. You know what I mean? And that's a coping mechanism by faith. I put a coping mechanism in place. Speaking of, I gotta say this before I go. This was very important. How do you, when tragedy strikes, recover? The traumatized know what I'm talking about. You know that thing that happened that make you scream, no, no. That thing that happens that make you not be able to get out of bed. The thing that makes that where all of a sudden you're laughing, one of those that's a nervous breakdown laugh. That thing, or that thing that happens that changed the course of your life forever. Like everything that you thought was going to be is no longer going to be. Do you want to know how to overcome that? Because everything changes. I mean, there's so many every time, everything comes to an end. Every good thing comes to an end, right? So how do you recover after that disappointment in life? I'm going to talk about some things that I did to recover. God told me to tell you this because you might have just lost a family member, your husband or your father or your child, due to rage, violence, suicide, COVID, disease, due to other people's neglect or whatever the case may be. But whoever did it, whose ever fault it is, that don't even matter, because daily you got to wake up to the fact they're not here. Or daily, you got to wake up to the fact that you won't be able to do or live the life y'all plan to live together. And you got to find ways to not hate every single day. I used to tell people, like I used to try to drink a lot of NyQuil to stay asleep when it first happened. Because it felt like every time I woke up, life was the nightmare. Like my dreams would be so cool because it'd be me and my husband, the family, we playing games, hanging out. Or my dream of, it'd be my dad, whatever the case may be. But when I woke up, I had to wake up to the fact that it wasn't real. It's gone, it's over, And it made life feel like a nightmare, a full-fledged nightmare. Hated waking up until God gave me a coping mechanism. He told me that I am being scared when I wake up and see that Everything was the same here, but everything was different. So he told me to drastically rearrange the house. Drastically. Like dive into a project and change up the way it all looks, right? And I get why. I'm telling you, when I did it, it was the best thing that I ever done for myself, because when I woke up and opened my eyes, my bed was in a different, my view was different. And therefore it was an automatic reminder that things are different. This is Act 2, verse 2, or I mean chapter 2. You get what I'm saying? This is the next era. I'm in a new era. You know what I mean? So when I woke up and the bed was against the wall, my husband let her have a bed in the middle of the floor, right? Me too, because who wants to crawl over somebody else, right? But the fact that the bed is against the wall, facing a new direction, when I woke up, I knew I was in Act 2. That's why it helped me. You get what I'm saying? But that was by faith coping mechanism to not be startled to death when I woke up. Because here we go. For those that are traumatized, let's keep on talking about it. Waking up crying is the worst thing in the world. Oh, that was the worst. That's why I had to fix it. Because you got to start your day knowing that this is era 2, Act 2. This is Sex in the City 2. You know what I mean? This is the new episode, right? And that helped, okay? Uh, Another thing, when it comes to, like I said, forgiveness, we're all stupid. We're all stupid. None of us are getting it right, okay? That was another thing that helped me wake up and stay woke every day. But here's my newest thing that I got to tell you guys about, right? So I did that drastic makeover of the house and my bedroom, but then it got to a place where I couldn't leave my bedroom. I couldn't leave my bedroom, y'all. That was the worst. I felt like a prisoner in a chair in my room. The rest of the world was going on without me, but I couldn't leave my room. People say, why? What are you afraid of? Why couldn't you do it? Let me tell you why. I realized that when I would go out around people, after a certain while, your body gets ready for something you're used to, meaning uh, dust comes, right? Or better yet, you're at an event by yourself. A little while, like if I'm there for about an hour or two, my husband would be meeting me there. And about an hour or two in, I realize he's not meeting me there, so I gotta run. It hurts, and I gotta run. So that's how I started not going anymore, because I knew after a little while, he wasn't coming. Or my dad, you know what I mean? Like, my dad love like the 6:30 news. You get what I'm saying? 6:30 World News Tonight. I couldn't watch it anymore. I couldn't watch it. Now I can. But for a while there, I literally couldn't watch it. So anyways, let's get back to the bedroom. So I couldn't come out the bedroom because though I rearranged the house and did all that, it felt too big. That downstairs felt too open. I felt like my back needed to be against the wall. That's what PTSD will do to you. Post-traumatic stress disorder will make you feel like your back needs to be against the wall. It's kind of what Sheldon does. I wonder who hurt Sheldon on Big Bang Theory. The fact he needs that certain chair, that's evidence of trauma, right? So this right here, the fact I have this hat, that's evidence of trauma, okay? So the downstairs was too big for me. Then I started noticing that my husband really did block a lot of my ADHD from the world. I didn't even know how bad it was until there was no blocker there, right? So I started to realize I was losing things, forgetting things, couldn't find anything. And then I felt all these different things in order to be downstairs participating in life become situations when you've dealt with like real trauma. So what did I decide to do? Okay. I decided that there's no such thing of how things are supposed, like there's no should. right? So I then decided I wanted pillows. Like I wanted a room full of pillows. I ain't got no company. Might as well, right? So I bought, look, hold on, wait. I bought this. People are like, why you got this in the middle of your room, the living room? And I fill it with pillows. It's a beanbag chair, and it's sitting on top of an armoire. I mean, not armoire, you know, our whatever that thing is that you put your feet on. Okay. Now, why do I got it in my living room? I mean, or better yet, here we go. My dining room is now an art gallery and TV room with one single chair and one big bean bag chair. There ain't no place for you to sit. You come over unless we sitting at the table, okay? But before, right? Ain't there certain things you're supposed to have? You're supposed to have a dining room table, right? You're supposed to have the placemats, right? Definitely ain't supposed to be no TV in here. You're supposed to have a sectional couch would probably be nice in the type of living room I have. Let me show y'all. It's important. You got to know these things. God said the things that we're trying to hold on to are the things that's blocking our daily happiness. And like a child, sometimes you don't feel safe. Yes, I have boards on my windows, but they're art. They're art. And it's not like my lack of felt safety. Oh, that don't come on. Hold on, y'all. Sorry. I got to bend over. Okay, there we go. It's not like my lack of felt safety is unrational. No, they are literally suspending cash bail. That mean I ain't want nobody run up in my house and put a flag down. You got me messed up, right? But by doing this, I end up moving back downstairs. Look at that. This all used to be in my room. Y'all, it's been 2 years and I'm finally living on the first floor of my home again. Yeah, I got boards, but there it's art. God done taught me how to paint. Yes, this is my living room. Can I not afford a couch? Don't judge. I can. I could totally afford a nice, brand new, all new everything. But guess what I'm putting over there? A hammock. A hammock. Yes, an actual hammock. And you know what else I'm gonna do next? I'm gonna buy me a remote control car. Cause you see how the house go around in a circle? Right, it go in a circle. So I'm gonna buy me a remote control car. Right? So I could chase my dogs. Okay. Um, I showed you that for a reason. Many of you will make 1,000 shoulds. That shouldn't be, I can't believe that's how she. No, this is happiness right here. My table, I do so much art at the table. I sit and talk with kids, my daughter's children. I mean, my daughter's children, my daughter's friends. Respect my opinion on God. And if you come over, you better, that's the only place you can come is sit at the table with me. Right? Because just like Sheldon, this is my chair. You get what I'm saying? That kind of thing. But I'm saying that to say those are the coping mechanisms that allow you to have happiness again. If it's part two, make it the best part ever. You know, right after everything happened, I started going hiking. My one friend was like, I heard you was all out there in the woods, Crocodile Dundee. I needed to, because that's what I wanted to do to make me happy. I took me and my daughter literally went four-wheeling. Right after everything happened, like she needed fun again. She needed happiness again. She needed to know that, it ain't all bad, right? So I want to empower you to throw away the shoulds, right? Throw away the shoulds. If you can afford 4 cats, keep all 4 of them. If you can't afford them and your house getting disgusting, don't do it. Oh, this is important for you to know. God told me that dust comes from evil spirits. Don't get me wrong. Yes, it comes from your skin dying. But he also said that's why you got to sweep. Now, mind you, I am not a clean freak, not at all. But I promise you, this flow clean because God showed me that you got to really sweep that stuff up, or your house will get a feeling of heaviness. And he told me that their dark matter, like spirits, leave a residue. They called it ectoplasm. No, it's dust. So sweep your house, clean your floors. Okay? But if it's a mess, it's a mess. It's yours, right? It's your mess, okay? Or if you feeling real down and don't know why, figure out what you can do like productively to feel better. It does not just have to be, I need a drink, right? It does not just like, oh, remember when I told you guys I want to quit smoking, so I made myself a fidgeter. You know what I mean? So I'll get caught up fidgeting on with the fidgeter to where I won't even want to have a cigarette. You get what I'm saying? Um, so what I'm saying is you choose that you run this realm. The way you cope will magnify itself. Like, is Steve Urkel too corny for you? Well, he came up with some great ideas, right? So if you can come up with some great ideas to have the best happiness that is morally sound, that's what Jeffrey Dahmer said. The thing he was doing to try to be happy every day got out of control, right? So I'm saying morally sound, right? That's important because that might take some creativity, right? You might decide, here we go, I feel like tearing something up, or I just feel like slash, slash, slash. Go get a big gigantic board, put it up on the wall, and then stand there with some paint, slash, slash. Do it. Or are you afraid of how they're going to look at you? Because they're going to look at you when you start punching on your daughter or your kids. Why not just make the paper feel the way you feel, or the board, right? Make it feel the way you feel. That's a coping mechanism. Uh, let's see. What's another one? Thank you, sister. Our God, he's always on time. Here's another one. Like I said, I wanted pillows. Oh, look, look, look. I can't barely get up here, but watch this. Watch this. Oh my God. A day cannot be a bad day when you laying on this. Can a day be a bad day when you got one of these? When you feel like this feels good. If you don't feel like it feels good, remember I said I'm putting a hammock in the living room. So what I'm saying is I just hope I'm helping you get away from the shoulds that are really spells that are robbing you from making the best second act of your life. And I hope I gave you some techniques. If you're experiencing real trauma, I hope I gave you some techniques. Look for coping mechanisms, good ones. Steve Urkel kind, you know, that Full House kind. Like build a model car. Go get you don't sit and play video games. Did you notice that video game company is called Bathsheba, which means make you like useless? But go get you a remote control car. Go get some science games for the kids and do science experiments with them. Uh, Literally, you know, I be, I'm gonna give you the freedom to do this type of thing. But one time I wanted to just cover myself in paint. I know. I know. But I did. Now, mind you, you'll understand if you ever had a nervous breakdown. Sometimes silly stuff is needed. Sometimes real live roaring crazy, but in a positive manner, is needed. So I'm just saying, but I want to free you to do that type of thing productively. Productively, like positively, Steve Urkel-ish, kid-like. What's up, Livy? My daughter's here. No. Yeah. Okay. Um. Oh, she wants the charger. Okay. Yeah. Do puzzles, right? Do real puzzles. I got a puzzle. Hi. She just came back from homecoming yesterday, my little pretty sweetie boo boo boo. Oh, you can't be showing her. You didn't kiss me. You're trying to kiss the camera. I was about to show the camera.
I wasn't gonna kiss it. I was doing.
You know these kids. I had to tell her like, but look, look, look. Remember I told you how that one thing was a blasphemy ritual, the pronoun thing? My daughter takes sign language classes, okay? And yesterday was her homecoming, right? So she kept making this symbol in the pictures, right? Me being a conspiracy theorist, I'm like literally like, that's the devil. What are you doing? And then she's like, no, it's not. It means I love you. And then it dawned on me, they even took they distorted the symbol for I love you in sign language. So that you gotta forgive it all. You just gotta forgive all this because everybody dumb. Okay? Everybody dumb. But yeah, like so the lady was saying do a puzzle. It may be here we go. This is what I did. If you're safe, you always have to be deliberately safe. You got to know your God to know your boundaries of what you can and cannot do, okay? But I used to sleep in my backyard with my dogs. That made me feel safe. It felt safer than in the house. Now, all kinds of people, what are you doing? I can't believe you do that. What's wrong with you? I'm literally out there with a cane corso and the most vicious pug in the world. I'm fine. And I probably got a gun next to me or a knife or something too. But because of PTSD, like my reality was so off, I needed to go out there and sleep. You get what I'm saying? My reality, like I needed to be in that environment. So what I'm saying is don't judge yourself either. Just use that amazing brain God gave you and that love for him, right? And then, create the life you want to live in Act Two. You get what I'm saying? Develop, create it. You can. You can have every single thing that you want if you'll let yourself have it. You know what I mean? I noticed I wasn't letting myself have the coolest art studio as long as I had that sectional couch. Yeah, it was beautiful. Everybody used to always tell me, your living room, your house so nice. Beautiful. But was I happy in it? Nope. Nope. Now I'm happy. Now that I got all my stuff the way I want it. And now, do y'all know on a boring night where somebody else would be like, I'm used to going to the club, which is me. I'm used to going to the club, used to going to the bar, used to hanging out. It's so boring and lonely and this is corny. And being with God is so doggone corny and annoying and you can't never have no fun. I don't know what you're talking about. I have fun all the time just because I think outside the box. Just because I feel like there's no barriers to goodness. I mean, goodness is the only barrier. You get what I'm saying? Other than that, no, I got walls that I could paint on. One day, let me tell you what I did one day. And I know I sound crazy, but I want you to know I'm so sane it don't make no sense. But one day I couldn't clean up. Just couldn't. Just couldn't. I'm talking about could not find a reason. I hated being here. I hated being on earth. I wanted to die. Flat out, I did. I hate it. I'm trying to clean up, right? And I see a big bottle of glitter in my room. I then start like I ain't gonna lie, I started cussing but glittering my room. I know you just made even worse mess. I know sometimes you gotta make it worse, so you'll have to clean it up. If you can't if you just can't and you're dreading every moment of it, have some fun with it. I did. I took that glitter and I was just in there like having a glitter party. Yes, I did it. Yes, I did do that. Right? And when I was done, it was hilarious. My whole room was sparkling. It was like I sat there. Now, mind you, yes, I had to sit on top of glitter for a few days because I didn't want to clean it up. Okay, I did. I had to just push the covers and the clothes that I didn't fold up. I pushed them over. But then in a little while it went, I'm tired of seeing glitter. That was fun. I'm gonna clean up the glitter. You get what I'm saying? You're the only one putting these societal cares on yourself. You're the only one doing it. The only one. And your judgment of what you'll look like if you do what would make you feel better positively is you. Because trust me, when it's get bad, the defense mechanism, like if you don't take the time to do it right then, when things get bad, a defense mechanism gonna grab you at the last minute. Next thing you know, you done went out, went to the bar, went to the club, had sex with the man, hung out, went to the gay marriage and said, I'm gonna pray over it. You would, because that's what happens when you don't feel in control. That's the reason why kids act out way they do. Like when the parents are getting divorced, right? The children, you wouldn't expect them to be mean towards you. right? It's the worst time of your life as the parent, and you wish it wasn't. You did all the, we promised to keep it this way. Like you did all the right stuff, but the kids still turn out like mad, coming in late, disrespecting you the whole nine. You know what that is? Let me tell you what that means. They don't feel safe. They don't trust you to make them feel safe anymore. They feel like they, just like with me, things didn't go the way they planned. So now it's up to them to make sure they have to have the life they can't trust you to give them the life they want. You can't even keep your marriage together. So I can't trust you. So that's the natural response of any human, not just children. That's I can't. Here we go. My husband made me feel extremely safe. Can't trust him to make me feel safe. Matter of fact, he makes me feel like my life is in danger. Why? So what I do? I got the guns. I went to the defense classes. Right? I bought the hat. You get what I'm saying? I did what it take to feel safe again. You get what I'm saying? Now, do I go try to get with my husband who was a pedophile? No. That's a defense mechanism because you wasn't true to how you really felt. You get what I'm saying? Me being true to how I really feel means I feel unsafe. That's what it means, right? You may need a hug, but you don't know you need a hug, so you think you need a man. You get what I'm saying? Right after, I'm telling you, I ain't wild out, but afterward, when I finally started standing up again, I needed a hug. And God sent me some of the best bear men, them bears that gave you the best hugs ever. Like I had my one friend, real talk, Andre is on hug speed down. Now, not no weird hugging. Not that you do that when you're not taking control of the situation. Like if you're not being true to the situation, yeah, you make a mistake and hug Andre wrong. I ain't do that. No. Mm-mm. Because I know I need a hug. I know Andre knows how to give the best hugs in the world. Okay. So I know Andre's going to give me a great hug because that's what I know I needed. But when you ain't being honest about what you need, you think you need Andre. And Andre got a wife and children. Now you just did something totally wrong because you needed something. My dad always told me that. He said, there's certain things you gotta be responsible for. Meaning some of them, sometimes it's your needs. You gotta be responsible and honest about them. So that way you don't make that kind of mistake. Here we go. If my husband could have been honest and told me, I was kidnapped and raped as a child. Honestly, I do have uncontrollable urges to whatever the case may be. And then at that point, I could say, how you feel about that? Are you okay with it? Do you think that's right? Do you think what happened to you was right? He would either say yes or no, right? But if he said no, then maybe would you, like, if it didn't have to be that way, would you want to make it differently? Like, would you want to go to counseling? Is this something you would want to go down that road with? Right? But if a person is able to be honest with you about the hard truths that are driving their negative behavior, they're less likely to stay in bondage. But every time we got to lie about it and be quiet about it and not tell nobody this is what I'm suffering through, because the way you're going to either treat them like you're way above them, or you're going to treat them like you never made a mistake, right? And no, first off, God already said you can't be helping people unless you expose the boulder in your own eye. So some communications got to go with, I understand, I've been there too. But what I found is this, and this helped me. But I get it. I've been there too. Man, I've done that. I've been there. Sometimes you got to like relate with people, get naked yourself about that's called a testimony, right? I cannot explain it. Like it's a testimony. That's what it is. When you tell them I've been there too, when you tell them how you got out of it, how God kept you in the middle of the night, how, when you do that, you're doing God's work. You get what I'm saying? So a lot of us are like saying you got to get out there and be found about God's business. This right here is God's business. Now, if I go out there to get seen, and here we go, let me give you an example. Let's say there's a man, that man, matter of fact, I told y'all the story about that young man who I felt, a little embarrassed because I thought he was homeless and he wasn't. Okay. So let's say, I went to that man and I wanted to just shower him with a brand new outfit. Like just because, right? I wanna shower you with a brand new outfit, sir. Now he put on that brand new outfit and he feel like he looked like a pimp, right? So he decided he going to the party to kick it with his boys. He ain't been around them because he ain't look right. And then, last time they said he was a scrub, but now he looking good, right? So now he got to go to the party with the boys. Once he gets to the party with the boys, right? Somebody robs him for his shoes, right? Because that's the party with the boys. They robbed him for his shoes, right? And plus, you bought him some really nice shoes because you had a standard. You wanted to make sure you had Jordan so he could fit in with everybody else. And then while they was there, they robbed him, and he started playing dice. He had a few dollars, so he thought he could win back, a new pair of shoes or something. But do you see how your need to keep up a pretense might have put him down a whole road where God didn't say that? You get what I'm saying? Now, in my situation, the man told me he ain't need nothing. So what was I supposed to tell him? Dude, get you some shoes. You cool? Get you some shoes. Right? Listen to them, find out what they need. Because sometimes you enable people. I always tell my next door neighbor, I love her. She's my bestest friend. But she's an amazing mom, right? Man, I'm talking about her house. You could eat off the floor. Her kids don't got to clean because she doing it all doggone day long. And I tell her, I was like, a little neglect is good for them. Just so you know, just a little bit, just a little sprinkle, a little bit. Because like if you don't fall down, how do you learn the process of getting back up? Like picture a toddler, they boom. If you pick them right back up, they never learn how to put their hand on the ground, how to turn their little booty around, lift up their legs, and stand back up again. Right? But especially if you keep just standing them back up. Right? So I'm not saying that about her. I'm saying that about people in general. You get what I'm saying? I'm saying that about people in general. Which I've told her to, like me and her talked about it. A little neglect help. You know what I mean? Like, here we go. You pick them up every single day from the bus stop. It's like not too far. When do they learn how to walk home? You get what I'm saying? You got to teach them those things. Coping mechanism is to teach them. Is to say, don't talk to nobody, walk a certain kind of way. If somebody walking up on you, you know what I'm saying? You let them go on past. You step off to the side. If they feel like they following you, you step off to the side or hurry up and turn and go the other direction. Whatever the case may be, you teach them how to do it. Right? You can't do it for them. All right? So, all right, I'm going to let y'all go. I hope that was a good training, 87 minutes. And I praise God that I just rambled and because I could hear him. And sometimes when I try to, I could tell it's negative concessions. I'm trying to go, you know, I don't know. I'm trying to anticipate your judgment, and it's not necessary. It's not necessary because my God takes care of me. He does, and he good at it too. He ain't missed a beat. There's a cherry on top of every day. And when there ain't a cherry top, my love for him makes me want to sit in the rain next to him. Like if God got thrown out of the world, I'd literally be sitting on the curb next to him like, you want to go like where we going next? You get what I'm saying? Um, so I think I accomplished it. Don't judge people. Read read this Bible. Read the words out of Jesus's mouth. Read everything Paul ever said. I love Paul. So that you can start getting your reactions up to that place and forgive everybody. Because if tomorrow really is the day, it was all just, our God is a reciprocity God. You love him, he love you. You hate, he hate you. You forgive, he forgive you. You whatever sentence you can put in that. So make sure how you're treating others, you're okay with it because it's about to be how God's going to treat you. You treating people like they stupid, you about to treat you like you stupid. It's the truth. All right, I love you, and God bless. All right, I'm gonna go. Bye.